Hey, Mystic Michaela spiritual family, welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today we are talking all about sound baths, Deja Vu, and Goosebumps. We're talking about the science of it as well as the psychic connections within it. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right, so this came about because the other day, we were eating dinner. All of a sudden, there is a knock at the door, and two members of the Mystic Michaela spiritual family, two listeners of the podcast, show up and whisk you away. They put a sheet over your head, and they whisk you away to a sound bath. And as you're like going out the door, I'm like, what is a sound bath? What are you talking about? And what is I kind of know now because I did a little research, but what happened?
So Casey and Stephanie, who we know, and they're KYA listeners and they're MMSF members, they told me a while ago, we want to take you to a sound bath. So Tuesday was the full moon, and they're like, we're taking you. And I'm like, all right. I didn't look it up. I've never been to a sound bath. I have a general idea. They told me nobody would touch me. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we went. It was on the beach in Hollywood Beach. It was the full moon, so it was beautiful. It was like 7:30 at night, and we just laid there was a bunch of people there. Everyone was really calm and serene and chill, and we brought our yoga mats and our blankets and stuff, and we laid on the beach in a circle, and it was amazing. These two brothers ran it. And there were instruments, and the music was so healing, and they put us in a meditative state. I cried at the end. It was really a lot of like releasing, and it was, and then the full moon came up over the ocean after. It was truly magical.
Okay.
Everyone should go to a sound bath.
All right. I have so many questions right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was magical.
It's magical. All right. So many questions. Obviously, my first question is the sound bath. I assume there's no water. So this is not an actual bath. There's no like shampoo and conditioner.
Correct.
And lotions and towels and things like that.
No, you're being bathed in like the musical vibrations. When you really are. Like the instruments are such that you feel them almost like reverberate in your body, like every cell and then beyond. Like my soul felt awakened. It's hard to explain. It just vibrates through you.
I mean, I'm trying to think back to any time in my history where I might have experienced something like this.
Okay.
And the only thing I can really think of is this time back in my college days.
What year was this?
Oh,
Wait, what year did you go to? Were you a freshman?
Do we have to go there? Let's just pretend it was like recent.
Okay. I like to, when I do a visualization, I like to see the clothes in my head.
Okay.
So I'm going to put you in
favorite like grunge.
So clothes. I have you in a thermal. Remember those thermal long sleeves?
Yeah.
Like 3 buttons.
Yes.
It's cream. And then there's like a flannel shirt around your waist.
Right.
Okay. I got it.
Something like that.
I got it.
Yeah.
You may
think of me like a lot skinnier, looking like a skinny Rocky. like Rocky Balboa, but a little like
Rocky,
real skinny.
Before he beefed
skinnier.
Up. Okay.
Yeah. I was working out a lot at that time and drinking a lot of milk.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, so we had my first year of college. It was just one big room, and there was 4 of us, 4 guys. So just imagine that right off the bat. And one guy was named Ralph. Okay, Ralph.
Okay, Ralph.
And Ralph was a huge, stoner, pothead, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Loved Dadgrass. He buys it now, Dadgrass. Love Pink Floyd, Fish, all that, Grateful Dead, all that kind of music. Actually, that's actually the first time I heard that type of music, like Pink Floyd. I was like so sheltered, living my life, in high school. I didn't know anything.
You
but
didn't know.
Yeah. So he introduced me to Pink Floyd and Wish You Were Here and all those kinds of songs like that.
Right.
But anyway, just make it, try to speed this up a little bit here. He had like a band.
Okay.
That really wasn't a band. Okay, meaning like they didn't have like drums and a guitar,
right,
and a flute or whatever bands have, trombone or whatever. But they would make their own instruments and they would play it to the music, like because Pink Floyd and Fish, they have a lot of instrumentals, so they would try to play it to that music,
like with spoons.
They would play
like on their thighs.
Yes, exactly.
Like,
yes, that's correct. It was
seriously,
that's
like
utensils.
Bluegrass style.
It was a lot of utensils. There was like forks,
washboards,
knives,
and a fork. and like an upside down milk pail. What is you went to UB? Like you're not
University of Buffalo.
University, but you're not in the bluegrass state, like with bluegrass music in the mountains.
I'm telling you, it was weird.
Where
no one would. This is exactly how it happened. And again,
were you on a porch? Like what is this?
Okay, hold on. Let me try to visualize it because you guys know I'm bad at that. All right. So all right, we're in this dorm room. His friends would just walk in. Usually there was about 3 of them. Mm-hmm. Ralph, I think one name was Colby. Okay, it's coming back to me now. They would just walk in. No one really talked to each other. Okay. They would have utensils. Okay. Like forks and knives and spoons. Okay. And they would basically just play it, like you said, like on their knee. Oh, yeah. Or like on the dorm room, the bed frame.
And they were serious.
They were dead serious. And they thought they were amazing.
What time of day is this?
Oh, it could be all hours. Yeah. This did not have a set time. It could be 3 a.m. when I was sleeping.
My indigo self could not have handled that well.
No, it was really hard. The next year I got my own room, like my own dorm room. I put in for a single, but you couldn't. The first year you had to have roommates.
You had to live like that.
Yeah. The second year I'm like, Dad, Yellow Bert. Let me explain why I need a single. Right. But anyway. I think that's the closest thing. And they would play this music, and sometimes it was enjoyable, I guess, if it wasn't 3 a.m. But I guess that's the closest thing I had to a sound bath.
So that's not what I experienced.
That's totally different.
Like, at all. Okay. They had, Casey gave us these, when we went to our sound bath, the better one, Casey gave us all these like lavender eye pillows. So honestly, I just plopped down on the beach and like put my eye pillow on, and I don't know what happened, but I heard a lot of interesting things.
Okay, so you don't know what's going. Okay, so now it's getting a little suspect.
I mean, he was walking around. No, they're very professional. It's very sweet. They walk around and play instruments. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I did look it up. I just kind of wanted to see what it was really all about. And yeah, it does date back to ancient times. Oh. I don't think there is one particular way that it has to be done. Okay. You can find this in times of the ancient Greeks, the ancient Egyptians, the Himalayan mountains, Tibet, right? And each one, I guess, has different instruments. So, I heard it could be used with Himalayan singing bowls. You could have gongs, things like that.
They had all those, I think.
They had all those things?
They had a bowl. They had a bunch of bowls. Okay. I don't know what they were called, but I took a picture of them. And they had a really big gong. Right. And they had really cool drums that to me looked indigenous, but I don't know myself. Okay. And they had flutes that also, they sounded indigenous, like the indigenous flutes that you'll hear like that. Okay. And they had chimes. Cool.
Yeah, and actually it could be done many different ways. Some people just do it like a gong bath. They call it a gong bath. Oh. Where it's just a gong.
A gong bath.
Gong.
All right.
Gong.
A gong?
Gong?
I don't know. It's a bad word.
Bad word. Yeah, I shouldn't say it. I'm never going to say that word again, actually. Yeah. I actually deleted it from my vocabulary. Hey, they're using bowls. Ralph and Colby were using spoons and forks. I don't know. Is there a difference? But anyway, what I really want to look into is, could this be a scam? Is there a scam to this?
Well, you're the friendly skeptic. I'm the friendly skeptic. What we bring you here for. So is it, Scott?
And here's what I concluded with that.
Your official stamp of conclusion.
While you cannot claim it to have any, let's say, medical benefits per se, okay, doesn't mean that it cannot help you. Meaning, if you're there to relax or to de-stress, in my case, maybe lower some blood pressure, things like that, I think it could be a good thing, especially like for a temporary fix. I wouldn't recommend it if you wanted to use it like for a medical change in your life or something like that. I don't think it could do anything like that. So as long as like the practitioners, we'll get into that in a second, aren't like making false claims, such as this will help you, with this.
This will cure you of this.
Yeah, as long as they're not doing that and charging some extraordinarily, that's the right word, extraordinary amount of money. Mm-hmm. I think there's really no harm to it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely harmless.
And it could just be a nice, relaxing, enjoyable experience. I don't know if you're on the Hollywood beach. There's some shady spots there. Well, and you have a bag over your head. And you're with 2 crazy fans from the podcast. That's something different, but
Casey are crazy. No, yes, you're right. The only bad thing that could have happened would have been South Florida's problem.
Yes,
but honestly,
that could be a more South Florida
Casey's
thing.
A particularly hardcore yellow. And I think that you can go anywhere with a hardcore yellow.
Okay.
Because
So
they will.
Sound baths with
They don't play.
sound baths with hardcore yellow are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
If you take 2 indigos with you, you might be in trouble because you're all lying there, vulnerable, and you don't know what these sound bathers are going to do.
It was not like it was. Honestly, it was beautiful. I really feel like if you go in with an open mind for just even if you just listen, if you just laid there with your eyes open, it's just a nice time. I the next day felt like detoxed. That's how good because I went in with the intention because it's a full moon too. I'm like I'm gonna release all this stuff. And I had that intention, so the next day I feel like it really worked for me. So I want to go again. I want you to go.
All right, and I am open to going. The only thing I did also want to check into was how do you become one of these sound bath practitioners? So I wanted to see, why can't my ex-roommate Ralph be one?
Yeah.
Is there something you had to
Maybe
do?
he is.
He could be one today. He probably is. All right, so there is a certification I looked up.
Really?
Yes, and I did find it. There's 3 easy steps to getting the
Not too bad.
certificate.
All right.
Okay, so to get your level 1 certification, it says you get to learn the basics. Doesn't say what the basics are, but you learn the basics. I don't know what that means.
All right.
You understand the physics of sound.
Oh.
Okay.
The sound is intense during it.
You develop skills and attunement, and it brings you into harmony. I don't know what that means, but you might be brought into harmony. I don't know. Do you know?
Like during the sound bath, and I think it would be a different experience inside. Like the next time I do it, I want to be indoors because I think it would have been even more intense.
Okay.
The instruments, it's like nothing I've ever heard before. So like the words attuned and bring you into harmony and things like that. I mean, I personally feel like the instruments like touch pressure points on you, or that's what I was experiencing. I was experiencing a level of awakening that might not have been possible without the instruments.
Okay.
So
this makes sense to you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe
You're going to go next time.
Maybe you should do what I did. I took the class.
You did?
I have my certificate.
Wonderful.
Step 2, level 2 certificate. That's advanced skills. Doesn't say what they are, but they're advanced.
All right.
Okay. You design a sound bath. I think what that means is, you put the rose petals around, soaps, lotions, probably have the KYA podcast in the background. You're setting up the bath.
Yes.
Most of our listeners, 47%, listen.
They listen
in the shower.
in an actual bath. Yes.
Maybe they meant sound bath. That's why the number's so high. And then they claim you work, which I did. You work with live people. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So you run an actual sound bath.
I think so.
All right.
And then the step 3 is the final test. This is where you're going to submit a demo video of yourself performing the sound bath. I did this. I have the video. And they said I passed.
Oh.
I might put it on YouTube.
I can't imagine what your sound bath
Imagine
video would
it's
look like.
It's like a fork hitting a wall.
It's back to the dorm room. Here it is.
Yeah, and I paid the low cost of $350 for my level 1 certificate. I don't know what I paid for the rest. I used the 10% off coupon.
Oh, that's not bad though. I have to say.
Yeah.
Like if you're into it and you're already musical and you want to help people heal through music and you believe in it and you really want to like elevate a vibration of a community, which is what the sound bath, their brothers, they said that's really what they do it for, to elevate the community and help the community. I think it's a great business. I really do. I think it's a wonderful business that helps people and hopefully can help yourself.
Okay.
I think people could be that's something not a lot of people are doing, and they could.
All right. And hey, the best part about it, when I took the course, you get 1 year free membership in the Sound Bath Professional Association.
I wonder if they have a convention.
They do.
I want to go.
Yeah. You have to take the course.
Oh.
I'm a member. You're not.
Can you imagine the lobby of whatever hotel that is? Everyone's playing their
anyway,
bowls.
all right, so this kind of gets the Scotty stamp of approval.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
You're going
I actually
next
do
time.
want to. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind trying one.
You would love it.
I think I might, because I do love binaural beats, and I
do.
do believe in them. I do feel, again, for the moment, like when I listen to binaural beats before I go to the dentist to get my blood pressure from 250 down to 200.
Right.
They work. I believe it works. So
right.
Anyway. All right, we got a couple of ads, and then when we come back, Deja Vu.
Sometimes you can really feel stuck without a direction in which to go. Burnout to me feels a lot like that. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. When I'm not taking enough time for myself to be creative, I can just get really fatigued and tired. I mean, that's what burnout always feels for me, an intense fatigue. Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, irritability, fatigue, and more. We associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feel burned out. BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone who can help you figure out what's going on in your life, what's causing stress in your life, it helps you. I personally have been to lots of therapy in my life and BetterHelp as well. Just that ability to talk with somebody when it can be about you and you don't feel bad talking about yourself. And they give you such amazing observational feedback. It really pushes me into new perspectives, which makes me, again, feel creative and unstuck in life. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/KYA. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KYA. I hate shopping for myself. I'm overwhelmed whether I'm scrolling online or in the store, I just get very overwhelmed. And honestly, all my favorite pieces have come from Stitch Fix. Shopping for new clothes can be time consuming and stressful. Why not let Stitch Fix do all of the work so that you can spend more time doing things that you like to do? It's easy and super fun to get started. First, you take a few minutes to set up your Stitch Fix profile, which actually is a lot of fun. Answer a few questions about what you like to wear, what you don't, and how open you are to trying new styles. Then Stitch Fix's expert stylists who actually listen to you will go to work finding items exclusively for you. Every piece is handpicked for you and is unique to your size, style, and in your budget, making it the best way to discover clothes that make you look and feel your best. I mean, you can give them the tiniest details, like I like my butt to look this way, or things are bigger in the waist than on top for me. You can give them all that. They listen, they hear it. Stitch Fix will send you 5 pieces to try on at home. Keep what you love and send back what you don't. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are easy and free. Plus, there's no subscription required. You can try it once, or you can set up automatic deliveries whenever you feel like it. There are no hidden fees ever. Sign up for Stitch Fix and get the season's latest pieces for women, men, and kids. Sign up today at stitchfix.com/KYA to get $20 off your first purchase. That's stitchfix.com/KYA to get $20 off your first purchase. Limited time offer. Purchase within 2 days of sign up. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right. So the next topic today is deja vu.
Yes.
Do you know what it means? I know you're a big Duolingo fan, and every night you are practicing your French. You've moved on. You've actually completed your Spanish Duolingo, and now you're doing French Duolingo.
I already do Spanish. I did review Spanish, and I was like, let's learn French. So now I'm doing French. It means to see it again, or something like that.
Already seen.
Already seen.
It's already seen. So,
vu. Yeah, it's like to see.
Yeah, and it means it is a sense. And I got this from an article. The article is entitled "What Deja Vu and Why? What is Deja Vu and Why Do We Experience It?" By Theodora Blanchfield. It came out in May.
So it's a recent.
Because I don't really
article.
know any. I'm going to admit here. I know more about sound baths than I do about deja vu.
Do you get deja vu?
I haven't had it in a long time.
Do you get deja vu?
I think when I was younger, but I don't recall having it in a very, very
long time.
Wait,
Whoa.
I just had it.
Whoa.
I just had deja vu. Okay, every listener knew that I was going to do that joke, right? If you didn't know I was going to do that joke, you haven't been listening.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
You didn't know that? Okay.
No.
Anyway, I guess it's a sense of seeing something that you've already seen without knowing it, but you haven't actually seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
we all know. We all have it. It's weird because the kids can even know when they're having it. The kids will be like, oh, did we do this before?
Yeah.
Have we seen this before?
Right.
Did I have this conversation with you already? That's what... I don't know if with me sometimes in my daily life when I get deja vu, if it's just mom brain, frazzled. Because I'm like, did I already tell you this? Because a lot of times I'll have conversations with everyone in my head and I'll forget if I had them out loud.
Okay.
Or I'll forget if a dream happened or it was real. So I'm like, hey, did this happen? Did you say this yesterday or something? Like that. That's kind of how it shows up for me. But sometimes I have those moments when I'm driving or just doing something like, oh my gosh, I've been here before. I met this person before or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The article does say it catches people off guard. It just happens. You're not like expecting it.
No.
It's thought to be the equivalent of a small brain glitch with two streams of thought colliding.
I feel like my brain does that a lot.
Yes. This is going to make a lot of sense when I go into the second part of who actually gets deja vu.
Great.
Yeah.
Like crazy people.
Yeah, there's usually something wrong with the brain. And that would actually make sense why I don't get it that much.
Okay. But everybody gets it. Like, Brie gets it all the time, our oldest.
Yes, they did say, I don't know if it's in this article or another article that I read.
It's normal.
On the topic that, they said about 95%, something like that, have experienced it in one's lifetime.
Okay.
But it decreases as you get older. So you get it less. Like, so Brie's age would actually probably get it more.
She has it all the time.
Yes. They said it'd be more common in a younger person.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that you can have something scientific and something spiritual at the same time. Like, I really do.
All right, so you want to do a little spiritual take on it.
So I have like 3 reasons what I think deja vu is, other than if you're tired or like whatever other stuff might be, you have mom brain or whatever else is coming up. The first thing that I always feel when I get deja vu is I'm just bumping into my soul contract, which just means before you come to this lifetime, and I really feel like this is true, your higher self, which is the eternal soul identity you, creates, and I did a podcast on it way at the beginning, has some sort of objectives laid out to, I guess, framework your life. And these objectives can be a little bit broad, but when you're bumping against one, you can get a little deja vu, like, ooh, okay, hold on, let's look around. Am I in the parameters of what my life goals are, what's going on? So I feel like it's a little encouragement, you just kind of almost like if you review your life goals and see if you're on track. That's kind of what I get the most from my deja vu experiences. My second thing I feel like deja vu is when your higher self, that eternal soul identity you, is signaling you to pay attention to something. Now, normally when I get these things, it has a lot to... It's in the middle of a day and is seemingly like absolutely stupid and doesn't seem to be relevant at all moment. But I'll think like, but what overall is going on in my life right now? What else is happening? So I'll have that little conversation with myself when I get it, to remind myself to be present and I guess reaffirm what my vision is for things. Because I feel like it's my higher self being like, poke, poke, pay attention. I also feel like, just in addition to that, it can be a sign that things are about to speed up. Because when I get deja vu, everything feels like it's slowing down. Like it's almost in rewind or reverse, or I'll be seeing something and it's happening in slow motion. And so I feel like it's my higher self's way of saying something's coming up, slow down, get prepared. The third thing I think it is, and this is only in some instances where I've had deja vu, is it's a past life thing. So if I meet somebody and I'm like, I feel like I've known you before. I feel like we've had this conversation. I feel like I've met you. This used to happen more when I used to... actually, it happens sometimes with clients. I'll have this, and I'll even tell them, like, I feel like I know you. And they're like, I know, it's weird. But yeah, I feel like it's a past life thing. So because you have already talked to them before, perhaps in other lifetimes. But that's not all the time, because sometimes I'll have deja vu when I'm watching a show that's premiering tonight or something. So those are my 3 spiritual takes on it.
Okay, now all that could be true. Or you might just have less gray matter than the rest of us.
Is it because my gray matter is taken up by knowledge and smartness?
I don't know that to be true.
I don't know how the brain works.
It's possible. But yeah, and again, I'm going to say something right here. This is way too green for me.
We need a neuroscientist here.
Yeah, we need a neuroscientist, or at least someone who has green.
Like a doctor.
Just someone who has any type of green is fine.
Right.
Would know more than I do. But I guess this gray matter is the outermost layer of the brain, is responsible for controlling your movement, memories, and emotions. typically the more gray matter you have, the brain has, then the more effective it is.
So what does that mean?
I guess what they're kind
So
of...
you're saying if I get deja vu a lot, it means I don't have gray matter, which means my brain isn't as effective? Is that what you just said?
I don't want that to be true, but yes, that's what I said.
I'm going to say something, though, because I feel like I always got good grades in school, and I've always done a good job in school, and I feel like I'm a good writer, and I can teach myself things, and I can learn things. But I'm going to tell you how I've always approached learning. Looking back into my life, it was psychic. So how I've approached language, that's why I wasn't good at math and I wasn't good at science, because you actually had to memorize stuff and actually understand the inner workings of it. You had to use your actual physical brain, probably. And for me, all the subjects I always excelled in were ones that I could just take off on my own and do because I always felt what the lesson was about, or I felt what it was always okay in history too, because I could always feel what was going on or just insert myself in the energy.
Yeah.
So maybe my gray matter is smaller.
No.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of gray matter.
I don't have a lot of gray matter.
Well, it is interesting.
It's okay.
Well, now that you say all that, which is very interesting, is that with all of this, everything that you do, everything is self-taught with you. Like you've never went for training for anything.
No.
That would actually, and that kind of fits more the bill here. I mean, typically, again, just from a scientific standpoint, and again, I know we're having fun here, but I don't think you have less gray matter than anyone else. You probably have more than me.
No.
I think I have the least gray matter in the family, okay? Of all of us, well, maybe the cats do. Yeah, Dusty and Rocky, and then me. Norman, I don't know, me and Norman have probably the same, but Norman's our guinea pig. If you know.
Okay, Scott.
All right. Anyway, they did do a study with like healthy brains versus non-healthy brains.
Oh, here we go.
And the less healthy brains experience deja vu more. So they found, people. They found people. With,
I don't like this study.
They found people with schizophrenia. It said, and these are the ones they specifically said: schizophrenia, epilepsy, anxiety disorder, vascular dementia, and people who see colors around people.
Stop.
Yeah, I don't know why that got into the article.
Well, anxiety, sure.
Yeah. But
whatever. I think it's your soul contract and nothing to do with your gray matter.
Okay. They also said there's times when it could happen if you're fatigued, stressed out, basically, you're had a long day.
Yeah,
you're
my
not
mom brain. Seriously,
yeah.
It's my mom. Yeah, especially when the kids were a lot younger.
Okay, so colds, the flu can bring it on, things like that. Taking medications for the flu.
Well, it's a brain issue.
Yeah, it's like a brain issue.
Okay, but I still feel like spirit can interact with your brain. I feel like I'm not going to get into that next when we talk about Goosebumps.
All right. I mean, the other part of the article goes on to just say, who gets it the most. And I thought this was weird, and I'm not buying into this either because, it says, well, the well-educated.
Who gets it the most?
Well-educated. So that you're right there, they're debunking your theory.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm kidding. Frequent travelers.
But they just said that, like, if you have less gray matter, you get it more.
I know,
So
but then they're saying
well-educated?
also here, well-educated, frequent travelers, those who remember their dreams, ages 15 to 25.
Okay. Well, Yeah.
Yeah, and those who are politically liberal. Like, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? Would that mean anything? That doesn't make sense, does it?
The Brain Candy podcast, they just had a whole podcast about how there's a difference between liberal and conservative brains.
Really?
There's like a whole study on it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I wanted to. Yeah.
That's okay. So maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not getting into this. Like I said earlier, I know less about this than I do about sound baths.
Anyways, this just kind of felt like a big hit on the ego.
I'm going to say your three things are right. It's nothing to do with gray matter in the brain. It's all about your spirit guides and Phoebes.
What if it means there's a glitch in the Matrix?
Or it could be the glitch in the Matrix.
It's that. From the Matrix. All right.
We have a couple ads. When we come back, you're going to talk about Goosebumps.
Yeah.
I think you get them when you get cold, but you got a different theory.
They're spirit shivers.
Exactly.
My babies are out of diapers now, but when they were in diapers, let me tell you, there are a lot of scratchy diapers out there. And there's nothing worse than buying a pack of them and spending that money and then realizing that your kid is going to take them off of herself or himself because they do not enjoy that feeling. So when I got Coterie diapers to try, I gave them, I mean, they're so soft, just feeling them myself, but I gave them to my neighbor who has a baby girl, and she is, of course, now obsessed and uses them exclusively because they're so soft and comfortable. Coterie is the highest performing diaper on the market with up to 2 times more liquid capacity and up to 4 times faster absorbency versus other brands, keeping your baby drier longer. Parents report fewer nighttime leaks and diaper changes, which can lead to better sleep quality for your baby and for you, plus less laundry. And let me tell you, as they get older, that absorbency and capacity is very important, especially through the night. Coterie can take your baby through potty training with their new 2-in-1 product, the Pant, that moves like yoga pants but absorbs like a diaper. Its readjustable waistband means that you can tailor fit the pant to your baby's exact size and even do vertical changes. And they use only the cleanest and safest ingredients. The Pant is even proven to be free of nearly 200 potentially harmful and irritating ingredients. Coterie's diapers and wipes are in a class all their own. They've been awarded Best Diaper and Wipes by The Bump and Parents.com. Plus, don't even get me started on their wipes. They are National Eczema Association approved. They're so gentle. Right now, Coterie is partnering with my podcast to offer you 20% off your first order plus free shipping when you go to Coterie.com and enter promo code KYA. That's Coterie spelled COTERIE.com, promo code KYA for 20% off and free shipping. That's promo code KYA. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
Let's talk about some Green Chef.
Oh, my God. I love when we get food in the mail. It's like my favorite thing in life is when we get food in the mail.
You like food in the mail?
Yes. And especially Green Chef, incredible ingredients. They're farm fresh, unique, figs, dates, artichokes. The shrimp is my favorite. Everyone knows that. I love shrimp. They have incredible shrimp with this.
And it's sustainably sourced.
Definitely.
And they provide these time-saving recipes. It's all laid out for you. And what I really love is instead of, when you grocery shop, you buy all these ingredients for a recipe, and then you end up wasting a lot of it. That doesn't happen with Green Chef. Apparently, you're reducing your food waste up to 25% versus grocery shopping. So we had an amazing time trying out some Green Chef. What was your favorite, Scott?
Okay, I'm between two. I love the sesame ginger chicken. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for that. I just love that stuff.
Anytime somebody throws a sesame ginger chicken at you, you're like, I surrender.
Yeah, and if you throw, and they call it the harissa spice shrimp. If you throw spice shrimp on my plate, it's gone. Actually, I didn't even get to eat it all. Bree ate most of it.
Yes. Oh my God, the kids eat all this
right off my plate.
Yeah. So here's the deal. You can go to greenchef.com/Aura130 and use code Aura130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/Aura130 and use code Aura130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. And you know what? Green Chef, it's the #1 meal kit for eating well. The craziest things that you think are normal to you, I've found in my own practice, are actually indicators that you're connecting psychically. And one of those things are goosebumps. So there is a scientific explanation for goosebumps, which I'll go through now. And, I'm not a scientist, and I basically Googled it. So feel free to double check it. But, I think I got the gist of it. But the scientific explanation for goosebumps are they're tiny muscles just flexing in the skin, and that it's an involuntary reaction. And it is linked to nerves from your sympathetic nervous system, which controls your fight or flight response. So that's what controls these muscles. So, like when you get scared or cold or something like that, you can get goosebumps. Kind of outside influences come in and affect you, and that's the nervous system that reacts to those types of things. when you think about it, like when animals get scared, what do? They puff their fur out. You kind of do that too, except you don't have a ton of fur. You just have little hairs, making them look bigger. But they've also, and this is a new thing, they've linked goosebumps to the regeneration of hair follicles. So when you get goosebumps, and some of us don't like them because they look gross, like when you have them, and some of us are, we get them more often than others and they don't go away or something. But think about this. They're actually linked to the regeneration of hair follicles. So it's a good thing because you want that hair to keep growing. Especially in your head. And it can also help you conserve heat, cause skin pores to close, hairs hold on to body heat. So yes, there's lots of scientific reasons why goosebumps occur. And goosebumps are associated with the sympathetic nervous system, as I said, but we know that the sympathetic nervous system apparently pulls from a lot of places in the brain. That's why you can get goosebumps from a lot of other stimuli too, such as, like we said, like fear, or sometimes when you hear music and it just like really hits you, or you're at a concert or something like, wow, or you see something like awe, you're like, wow, or pride or excitement, or you just get chills all of a sudden. But here's the thing. I noticed it was happening in my readings, and I noticed there were patterned responses to the way it was happening in my readings that would actually back up something I was saying. So I'd say something to a person I was reading, get chills, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I have chills. That's so true. So I noticed that there's more to it than just, I guess, a physical response. Like perhaps goosebumps is a way for us to receive and respond to information from other places too, such as spirit. So while I totally believe the science end of it, I think that there's something else which gets these goosebumps going that is beyond our current understanding. And that's why when I call certain experiences when I get goosebumps, spirit shivers. That's just my little word for it. I've heard a lot of you all have cute names for it, like confirmation bumps or things like that. I think those are really cute too. But spirit shivers is what I use. So yes, the sympathetic nervous system deals with your body's ability to produce localized adjustments to the environment. But what about the environmental stimuli, which is spiritual, which is from spirit, which is from your sixth sense? I just have this with me. I can just tell you what I experience, and while I experience it at times when it's obvious it's from I'm cold or I'm scared or something like that, I also know when I'm experiencing goosebumps / spirit shivers, when they're really spirit shivers. That's why I had to name them something else. I get the spirit shivers when I'm getting a message or I've received information that's important. I'm going to go through all the ways that you can experience spirit shivers where it's different from goosebumps. All right, so I will call them, again, spirit shivers when this happens. A couple ways it can start. It can start at the crown of your head, okay? So sometimes I'll get spirit shivers where it starts at my crown, the very top of my head, and it almost like goes down like rain throughout my body. That only happens with the spirit shiver stuff, not with the physical goosebump stuff. Another thing, a way I'll get it is the center of my chest, like my heart chakra, and it'll spread out like warmly. So that's another way I'll get it. I know that that's different from just regular goosebumps. It starts there and moves out. This happens to me during readings. I mean, it can happen to anybody during deep conversations with friends, when you hear something and it really resonates, when you're realizing something for the first time in a very profound way. Spirit shivers are a way that your mind and soul are communicating in sync after receiving a meaningful message. So I feel like a lot of times with all of us, sometimes you hear a song and it just hits you the right way. It's just like, whoa, that hit me. And music is an energy exchange at the right place and the right time. When you're open to receiving that energy that the music carries within it, it can hit you. And then spirit can be like, hey, right there, right there, right there, and try to really solidify this connection with spirit shivers. Reading something meaningful, like when you read something and you're just, whoa, and you get the spirit shivers. Again, it's spirit's way, and spirit is a word. It's an all-encompassing word. You can use whatever word you want. I use it to it's like my blanket for spirit guides, angels, loved ones on the other side, whatever you want to call it, your higher power, even your higher self. Those are all the things that I'm talking about when I say spirit. So when you read something or hear something really important and it really resonates and it really rings true and it brings you a lot of awe and understanding, the spirit shivers can be also received, again, as a way to like, let's bookmark that. Meeting someone for the first time. You can meet someone for the first time and immediately like that spirit shivers, like it just passes between you. You just know this person's important to you for some reason and you don't know why. This can happen for a multitude of reasons. They're your soulmate. Maybe it's a twin flame connection. Maybe it's a kindred spirit connection. Maybe it's a past life connection where your souls recognize one another. And again, the spirit shivers are just a way for spirit to be like, hey, this is important. Pay attention to this moment. Let's just not ignore this. And it gets your body involved. It can also happen when you go to a place for the first time that you really feel deeply on a soul level. Perhaps you walk into some sort of ancient architecture. Maybe you're in Rome and you walk into, a temple, or you walk into a basilica or just some place and you're just, whoa, you feel it. You feel the timelessness of it. You feel the energy behind it. You feel the meaning that is there, the vibe, the underlying pulse of the collective consciousness just hitting you. So you can have this experience when you look at certain artwork. You can have this experience when you choose a crystal or a crystal chooses you. These are experiences when there is an energy transfer happening between you and something else, and it's important to pay attention to that because you might not know why it's meaningful, but you know that it is. So you just have to kind of, again, bookmark it, put it on the shelf, that you understand that we're going to probably come back to this later. And spirit shivers are just a way for you to do that. This can also happen in mediumship when one channels loved ones on the other side or channels people on the other side over. I get spirit shivers now when I do mediumship readings. That's just part of it. The second I connect with, somebody, you send me a picture of grandma who passed, and the second I just like take a moment, I just like the first thing I'll get is the spirit shivers, usually through the crown of my head and down. I'll get that because I feel like their messages, this is my interpretation for myself. That's where their messages start to get me, or the heart chakra too. And they'll spread out and warm because that's where they're communicating to me through. So that's just part of it. Every time I do, that's actually how I know I'm connecting. If I don't get that with somebody, it's like, ooh, they're being quiet in spirit. They're not connecting. Because unless I get the shivers, unless I get the spirit shivers, then that's just, it's a confirmation for me. And a lot of times when I deliver a message, which I get from the other side from somebody to the intended person, they'll end up receiving the same type of spirit shiver experience. Like, oh, I got chills. Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, me too. So it's a shared thing. So we know that this energy is kind of cyclical and it's finding its sources. It's finding its places to go. And when we all realize it, it like explodes and there's just this feeling of, whoa, that's so cool, like connection. So yeah, communicating with loved ones on the other side at any time can often produce these spirit shivers. I mean, you might just randomly be thinking about somebody you love who passed and you just, I feel, shiver. Because they're like, hey, that's their way of being like, hey, they're coming through. So don't ignore those things because it's that stimulus. So some sort of spiritual stimulus that is activating, I believe, your sympathetic nervous system. So how do we interpret what these chills mean? Like, what's going on? We get them. Okay, I get these all the time. Now what? What do I do? So when you experience these chills, you have to immediately think, just stop for a second, get mindful. What's going on around me? There are always context clues. Like if you aren't cold or scared or dealing with some sort of physical ailment in your body, these chills are the spirit shivers versus goosebumps. Spirit shivers are often accompanied by deep emotional waves. So when you slow down and you mindfully pay attention to it, you can get kind of a communication. And that's why being psychic is really about being you. That's why when you become psychic, it's really about becoming more of yourself, because all the cues, and this is what I wrote the workbook about, which comes out in January, all the cues are in you. You just have to learn how to kind of read yourself. So anyway, so when you get these spirit shivers and you're like, oh, like what was I just doing? And sometimes if it's a loved one on the other side channeling, you might have just been in some sort of meditative state, like doing dishes or you were just thinking about nothing even. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, whoever it is just enters your mind. Or right after the spirit shivers, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking about grandma. Okay, that means something. Or you're listening to music, again, back to music, or you read something and like, bam, you get the spirit shivers. What did I just hear? How does it make me feel? What's going on in my life where I feel like that's important? What's going on in my life right now where that makes sense, that something's resonating there? And you'll get answers. You'll get answers if you sit in it for a minute. But the spirit shivers, the whole point is they're poking you like, hey, sit in that for a minute. Your body is a channel for spirit message. You're a phone too. You're a phone. You're a vessel from this plane to the next. Being psychic or opening yourself up to spirit messages is really about understanding that there's another plane, that right now we're in a physical plane because we're in a physical body, but there's a spiritual plane too, which we can work on our spiritual selves and thus be more open to that. And so, like I said, the key to being psychic really does lie within you. Your body is just one of the ways spirit can deliver messages. So your emotions, we talk about that on here all the time. I talk about empath auras, purple, blue, indigo, turquoise. Your emotions are little messages in a bottle for spirit. That's why a big thing we talk about is, okay, what's my default emotional state before I walk, and why am I suddenly feeling anxious when I'm hanging out with my coworker? Okay, it's not my anxiety, it's theirs. So let's separate it and figure that out. It's just one of the ways that spirit can work within you to deliver messages. Your own feelings, your own body, your own physical and emotional cues are vehicles for message. So these nudges are just to let you know that what you're experiencing needs a little closer examination. Getting to know about your body and its responses, not brushing off messages you're getting. Your body's a friend, a tool. And we could talk about being psychic, like goosebumps versus spirit shivers is some sort of magical or mystical thing. But maybe it's just science we haven't yet discovered officially, too. So pay attention to your spirit shivers and see where that mindfulness leads you. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. All right. So as the one with more gray matter here, which I might have actually lost during the taping of this episode. So you might actually be the lead now. But very interesting. We did a little bit of a scientific approach for some spiritual things, sound baths and Deja vu and the goosebumps and all that. But
I'm really insecure about my potential lack of gray matter.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
I just admitted I got through most of my schooling by just being psychic.
Yeah.
So sad.
That is, you did admit that. Yes.
Like if you're psychic, you can get through, your bachelor's and grad school, and you'll be fine.
Right. All right. So I think just to end this episode, I'm going to call, I don't know if you guys notice this, listeners that are listening. Mm-hmm. Well, what else would they be doing? Listeners that are listening. I call overtime at the end.
Overtime.
Yeah, and I don't know if we've ever officially explained it.
We haven't.
So maybe we'll just do that now.
Okay. So
overtime is basically, the podcast is over.
It's over.
It's like a set time that we've, because there is no set time.
You can be done now.
Right. But so it's actually a time, because the podcast could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, it could be an hour, it could be 50 minutes, it's whatever we make it.
Yeah.
So, but I always say, all right, we're running out of time. I've said that on earlier episodes, but why are we running out of time?
Because we're just done now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we call overtime, that means anything goes.
Yeah.
But it also means you could turn off the podcast now.
Yes, we
you
encourage
don't have
you.
to listen.
We encourage you to.
Yeah,
because it might get weird.
Right. Everything that we really wanted to say is now over.
Right.
And now it's really up to you. And if you're still sticking on, then that's on you.
It's on you.
Anything that flies out of my mouth or MM's mouth here.
If you lose
that's
gray
your fault.
matter,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
on you.
Okay. So, okay. So as most of you know, we have the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family, and we have these incredible posts on there all the time.
It's a Facebook group.
Facebook group.
On Facebook, yes.
Right.
Closed
And-
Facebook group. You're welcome to join.
Yes, everyone's welcome to join. So I picked one that has been getting a lot of play this week. It's very interesting, and I think you guys will enjoy it. All right. It comes from Emily M. We won't give her
right.
last name. All right. Emily M. All right. So she writes, I found a guy at the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Gathering. So back in January, we had a gathering in Florida. People came from all over the country, and she found a guy there.
Wow.
Yes.
This is so cool. This is like everything I'd ever want that to happen there.
We actually sat around hoping this would happen.
This is what we hope happens.
Yes, we said, please, someone named Emily who's yellow, find a man at the event. And that's what happened.
All right.
It was on my vision board. It was in my manifestation of the full moon while doing sound bowls or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So she says, my yellow is cringing at this sappy indigo post.
Aww.
So hear me out. All right. So I assume she's yellow and indigo. The night before the Mystic Michaela Angel Numbers event, we wandered down to the infamous Elbow Room for just a drink. I don't know. Have you ever heard of it's not even Elbow, ELBO. I've never heard of that.
I mean, listen, there's probably a lot of places in
infamous.
South Florida that I haven't.
Right.
Yeah, no.
But this one's
heard
infamous,
of.
I guess.
All right.
After some free shots from the bouncer.
Nice.
That's okay, from the bouncer. Okay, so the bouncer, not the bartender, the bouncer.
Bouncer.
And endless people watching. The night became
No,
lively.
there are people watching.
What is going on there?
No, there are people watching.
Oh, people watching.
Yeah, you read it funny.
Oh, okay.
You said after endless people watching, like they're not being watched, they're doing people watching.
So I thought they were
Yeah.
getting drunk and then people were endlessly watching
them. And you're like,
Yes.
what are they doing to be watched? No, they were people watching.
All right. So the night started to become lively. Okay.
A lot of South Florida purples.
Yes.
They come out after a certain hour.
Weeks prior to this weekend, I was rudely broken up with. Okay, so someone dumped her. Or something.
Yeah.
And said many times after that, I don't need a man and I'm not dating anyone.
Oh,
Okay. So that's her mantra.
not good.
Right now we're talking about mantras.
I mean, that's not a
here.
great
Mantras
mantra,
are getting
but-
not a good mantra. Emily,
she was
you have
having
to
fun.
change that. But she's having fun.
She was having fun.
Okay. As the night was wrapping up, we met some guys at the bar who were in town from Chicago and conveniently were staying at the Bahia Mar Hotel, too. That's where our event was.
Weird.
Okay. First of all, thank God they're not from South Florida.
Okay,
So right
yeah,
off the
wait,
bat,
where are
that's
they
really
from?
good. Chicago.
Better.
Much better. Night and day. Night and day. I mean, if they were from South Florida, I would have told you right now I'm not reading the rest of this.
No.
I know how this ends.
Yeah, but he's
Okay.
probably like a Midwestern green,
Right.
and we can handle that
Right.
versus a South Florida purple.
Right. Okay. It may have been the tequila, but I feel like one in particular just magically appeared next to me.
Aw.
I assume that's one of the guys.
Yeah.
Okay. We all hung out after and never thought we'd see them ever again.
Okay.
Scary face. Okay.
Yeah.
Fast forward. A week later, he reaches out to my friend who had his number from that night and asked to get my number.
Oh my God.
We then proceeded to message each other every day.
I just got spirit shivers.
Me too. I got goosebumps.
You too?
Well, I got goosebumps. You got the spirit shivers.
Oh my God,
Which
that's
is really
crazy.
the same thing.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, sound bowls are going off. Okay.
No, really, that's crazy.
It is. Yeah, actually, I did.
Me too.
some
I got it. We got it at
goosebumps,
the
too.
same time. You're not even joking.
I truly believe. I'm a believer
Oh,
now.
you believe in the spirit shivers.
I'm believing in the spirit shivers. Yeah. All right. So every day she took a trip to Chicago to visit him in May.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's like months later. So they
Yes.
were really messaging a lot.
Yeah. Then they all met up in Vegas for her birthday. A nice little reunion.
Oh, he came. That's so sweet.
Yep. And now he's planning to visit her in Nashville.
Stop.
He is the sweetest and most caring guy I've ever met. That's saying something because I met her. I remember meeting her.
Yes.
And he's more sweet and caring than I am.
So you're like,
Yeah.
I'm
So
going to
he
make this
must
about
be-
me.
Yeah. So he must be really sweet and caring.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember meeting her at the event.
Yeah.
We're both divorced and both have kind of lost hope about love in the past. It's funny how things show up when you least expect it, when you don't
Yes.
think you want it or need it. I have no idea what our future is or what the plan is. Hello, yellow. But I'm here for the ride. She also thinks He's a green-blue. Good call.
Midwestern
Maggie,
green.
Good call there. Don't settle, ladies. Kay, thanks. Well, all right. That's very interesting. We can find out if he's a green-blue, possibly. Maybe if he does a review or something like that. Then he's definitely a keeper. But that's a cool story. It's a real cool story.
Now, do you think they'll ask us to officiate their wedding?
I feel if I don't get like a VIP seat at the wedding, then that's like a if I don't get a VIP seat at that wedding,
right?
Then I feel that's like a snub.
Okay.
That's a snub. Like I got snubbed at.
Wow.
Like you too. You as all. You
like
also.
We're gonna make it on us.
Yeah.
Like we.
So if I'm not invited to either Nashville or Chicago or Vegas, wherever.
Yeah.
I think one's from Nashville, one's from Chicago.
Okay.
I feel I should have. Yeah, I want to be at the number one table. Not like I want the VIP.
I want
wedding
table
treatment.
number 11 though.
You could
I want
officiate
table
it
11.
if you want.
I'll officiate it.
You have officiated a wedding.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the bridal party should be in aura colors. They
I
should
do
all wear
too.
their own aura colors.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And I don't have ideas.
I think I should be a groomsman. I don't know this guy, but I think he should make me one of his guys.
You hate being in weddings.
True.
You're like not a good participant of any wedding party.
True. But
you make up for the day of like you'll bring a pizza.
Fine. All right. But I should, all right. I don't want, no snub here. All right. Anyway, all right. So thank you so much for hanging with us. Overtime. You take it away.
This podcast is for you and about you, and we're so glad you spent some time with us today.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.